I would like to publicly introduce our interim police chief, who I'd like to bring up and have a brief discussion with. I promised I'd get him out of here on time. He's got, obviously, plenty on his plate, and so I'd like to, if the board will allow me. Good evening, Chief. How are you?
Good.
Well, first of all, obviously, welcome aboard. I'd like to extend, on behalf of the board, our warm welcome to the town of Wareham, to you. I'm personally grateful that you're here. I've had an opportunity to look at your resume, and as you know, we've had a chance to sit down and talk, and quite impressed with your credentials and your history and your experience, and I'm looking, and I feel the board is looking forward to working with you. If you could, perhaps you could just give us a brief introduction publicly into your background and your history, and what you perceive as your plans, and let the community know what you see as the opportunities.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, members of the Board of Selectmen, members of the community, President. First of all, it's an absolute honor for me to be here this evening. As your interim police chief, I feel as though I've been extremely blessed in this respect. I have already had an opportunity to meet so many members of the community through the Cape Verdean Festival that took place one day, to the men and women of the department I've been working with on a regular basis. I will not squander this opportunity. I will make sure that when the time comes that I leave the town of Wareham, no matter if it's a few months or a year, until you have chosen a new police chief, that I will make sure that I dedicate the time and energy that you people need to make sure that I lead the Wareham Police Department in the right direction. I have spent a lot of time talking to the men and women of the department, and I made sure that those of them in command positions realize that I will in fact be having a staff meeting shortly. But just in my initial assessment of the Wareham Police Department, I find a group of hard-working, dedicated men and women who put the interest of the community and its residents first. I find that the men and women of the department, who are extremely busy, more so than I could have imagined when I first came here, are extremely busy and working under difficult circumstances, that they have maintained a positive attitude. That even flying in the face of different controversies that have developed over the last few months or year, that they have maintained their work ethic and their professionalism and the ability to get the job done. There's a lot to be said in that. And I know that over the course of the last several months, much of what has taken place has only been a communications issue. On all fronts, in many different facets, I have been watching closely over the course of the last couple of months and speaking to a lot of people. It is my desire to step forward in the leadership role for the Wareham Police Department in an effort to bridge some of those gaps, in an effort to prepare the department for their new leadership when you, the appointing authority, make that decision and move forward. With me, I bring a lot of experience. The experience I bring is over 32 years of law enforcement professional service. I received my bachelor's and master's degree from Northeastern University College of Criminal Justice. The College of Criminal Justice prepared me for a leadership role in planning in law enforcement activities. My emphasis was on planning. During the course of my time at Northeastern, in my first few years at the North Andover Police Department, I quickly took on a leadership role. I was sergeant at the age of 26, lieutenant at 27, and lucky enough to be named chief at age 30. During that time frame, being in the right place at the right time and taking advantage of every opportunity that was afforded to me, I was able to move the department on to a high level of service to the community, build a relationship with the community, members of the Board of Selectmen, and the police department staff that has kept it at that high excellence to make sure that the community is well aware that the North Andover Police Department strives to provide the best possible police service to the community on a regular basis. We have gained a great reputation in that regard. In addition to my work with the North Andover Police Department, I've also been lucky enough to have served as president of the Massachusetts Chiefs of Police Association, president of the Northeastern Massachusetts Law Enforcement Council. I sit on the board of directors of many civic groups, as well as I work with the International Association of Chiefs of Police on different committees that they have, including the Rules Committee, as well as Homeland Security Committee. So I've been honored to be placed in some of these positions. I will bring the experience that I've had with the police department, with the Northeastern Massachusetts Law Enforcement Council, where I lead a group of 160 officers, 40 of which are SWAT team members covering 50 cities and towns, which I am leaving, and I have offered my letter of resignation to that group for this opportunity. But I will bring to this community a level of professionalism and a level of preparedness that no matter what comes my way, I feel confident that I can work on it, and nothing will shatter my being as I deal with any problems that are brought to my attention. I just want to point out one thing. I had the opportunity to sit with 4 members of your department today in a class. We attended a class put on by Lieutenant Colonel Grossman, dealing with issues of serious nature for police officers. And these 4 officers of your department were there and conduct themselves in a very professional manner. I have already leaned on several of them to take over a training role. The areas I am going to focus on with this department is training. And I can't emphasize that enough. There is definitely a void there. Training, policy and procedure development. I am going to lean on the department to make sure that we find out what equipment needs are there, keeping in mind that there are budget problems, as in every other community, so we don't squander the valuable resources we have. But the emphasis is going to be on training, policy development, equipment, and also the staff and the structure of the Wareham Police Department. I plan on coming before the Board of Selectmen at some point in the future, hopefully in October, with a PowerPoint presentation to show you exactly what I have found, in my opinion, the direction the Wareham Police Department should go into. I look forward to continuously working with you. I make myself available to all members of the community. I'm only a phone call and email away. I will make sure that I will, in fact, answer all calls. I will deal with whatever issue, no matter how difficult it may seem. I just ask that we continue, and I've been pledged by members of the Board of Selectmen in a sincere fashion, and I very much appreciate that you will work with me to make sure that we move the department forward. The police officers are doing the best job they possibly can under dangerous situations. I was just on a gun call with them a few days ago, where they took a gun off of a guy who was, in fact, threatening a woman with it. The men and women of that department face difficult circumstances every day. They walk into danger every day. Every call they go on is a call that there is a gun present, even if it is their own, and somebody may have the will and desire to take it off them. It's a dangerous job. It's a job that most people don't want. Sometimes you can ask, why is it that police officers walk into danger when everybody goes away from it? And you ask, why would they do that? What's wrong with them? I simply reverse that and say, what is right with them? It's a noble profession, a noble cause, and I look forward to working with each and every one of you at what I consider the most important aspect of any community, public safety. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chief.
Well, thank you, Chief. Does the board want to ask any questions or make any comments?
Well, I'd just like to make a comment, if I could, Mr. Chairman, to start things off here. I think we've got the right person for the job, Chief. If you want something done, you ask a busy person, and you certainly are a busy person and have been a busy person, so we are equally as pleased to have you as you are pleased to be here. I'm also very pleased with your focus on the training role, and particularly the policy and procedures development issues that I think we could definitely, there's always room for improvement, and I think that you've touched on a couple of things, in particular, and organizational structure is another one of my pet projects, and so I think that's also a good thing. And then just on a lighter note, people ask us all the time, what's wrong with us? Why do we want to be here too? So we can relate to that. So I guess there's something right with us being here too. So welcome to
Absolutely.
Wareham, and thank you for coming in tonight.
Thank you very much.
Jane kind of touched on several of the things, because I think we all know that the policy and procedures definitely needs to be written, tailored for this town, and I'm just looking forward to, it sounds like that you've got a good grasp already on what we need done and how you're going to go about doing it, so welcome aboard, and
Thank you.
and look forward to working with you.
Thank you very much.
I'm glad you were able to take the job, and with your attitude, I think you have a positive attitude, upbeat, and I think we're going to see great things out of you, whether it's 2 months or a year.
I look forward to working with you. Thank you, Mr. Cruz.
And we do too.
Thank you.
Well, just to kind of finish some thoughts, again, I'm well familiar with your history and your background. I have both professional and personal contacts in the law enforcement community, as we discussed. Your reputation precedes you. You have an outstanding reputation in the law enforcement community, and you're well known. We had I know about your education. I went to the same college, same program, and I know it's the finest CJ program in the country. John Jay thinks they are, but please. And I'm familiar with the management training that you've had as well. And I believe that in order to master a problem, you need a master manager. And I'm not going to go into the past or the history, and we all have our opinions. I can only say that I'm extremely grateful that you're here and that you're willing to take on what I believe is a major reformation. When we first sat down that Friday afternoon, we were both busy. We only had a few minutes with each other. The first thing you said when you sat down was, I'm not just a placeholder. So suddenly you had my attention. And then you told me exactly what you felt were your plans, how you felt you could impact and improve that department, what some of your experiences were that related to the problems that we currently have. And I was generally very impressed. And I can't tell you personally how much I'm looking forward to really changes that are for the positive and for the benefit of this community. And one thing to clear the air on one issue that I constantly keep hearing about. Well, you know, this guy's good, but he's only going to be here 2-3 days a week. Listen, that doesn't bother me in the least. If we can get 2 to 3 days a week of very positive, very strong management skills, that's worth 40 hours of non-productions by many folds. So I'm not at all in the least bit concerned with that. And again, very grateful that you're here. And I hope that we can improve quickly, rapidly, our relationship, especially mine, with this department. And I think you'll be a key factor in that. And that's why I'm also grateful. So thank you again. And welcome to Wareham.
You're welcome. Have a good evening.
If I could just add one thing about, since you're here, Chief, and for those of the community who aren't aware, our honor guard was invited to stand at the funeral of Eunice Kennedy Shriver, I mean. And I think that there were only a few honor guards who were asked to do that, and they're a credit to our town, and I just wanted to publicly thank them and you for allowing them to go.
Thank you very much. It was an honor.
One last question, Chief. When do you think you might be revisiting with us on those initiatives that you were talking about earlier?
I'm hoping for October, beginning of October.
Okay.
And I'm going to be sensitive to, I know you have town meeting plans, things like that, and some critical decisions you're going to be making. If I can move that up towards the latter part of September, I will speak to the administrator, who will deal with you and find out when is a target date, and I'll reach that deadline, whatever that is.
All right. Very good. We'll look forward to it. Thank
Thank
you
you
again.
all.
All right. Have a
Thanks.
good night.
Thank you, Chief.